Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
Good, man. It's been a while. Like, how long have you been gone now?
It's been, well, we left for Indonesia on the 8th of the 8th, so it's the 28th. So
So,
28 minus 8, it's 20 days
so not
ago.
not far off a month. I
Not
know you're
far off.
going out into the sticks, but it looks like you don't even have access to a mirror anymore. Bit of growth. Are
Well,
you stuck on a deserted island?
kind of, I guess we kind of are. Lombok is a deserted island, but this is,
Well,
I'm,
I decided to. Sorry, Karen.
no, I'm unemployed, so we can just let our hair down literally right at the moment. What
Well,
about
hey.
yourself? You seem to have
Well, I
like,
decided to keep the Chinese look. I just gotta grow the long beard out like you.
Anthony, let's just quickly for the viewers or the listeners. So let's explain our situations. We both were living in China for a long time, and then finally this year, I beat you to it. Although you tried your very best to leave before me, our families have finally left. Although of course, Lay, your wife's still there. So you give us your situation where you are in like a minute, and then I'll go over mine.
Well, I was in China for 18 years, like you say, just left. I'm currently in my parents' house because I'm saying hi to them for a little while before I go off to Cambridge
Okay.
because my son's going to attend school there. So, yeah, we took the plunge, and my adventure lately has been trying to find somewhere to live.
Okay.
But
Right.
it's good. How about you?
Well, of course, us being good friends and former co-hosts of the China Jedi podcast channel, where people can see not see our beautiful faces, but just listen to our voices. Um,
Yes.
of
No,
course, we
decided to subject them to our faces,
well we thought why
visual as
not.
well as audio torture.
The plan, of course, is with this is to do a once a month thing just as a catch up as mates. And why not? We'll just film it. It could be of interest. It might not be of interest, but we'll just see how it flows. But for me, of course, I was in China maybe a little bit less, but 14 years. And of course, we shared many good times over the years in Zhuhai City, near Hong Kong and Macau in Guangdong province, South China. And then my family, four boys, all born in China, and my wife from Japan decided to make the big move after so long. And we haven't gone west like Anthony back to the UK. We've decided to go down south more into full tropics on the equator into this lovely, beautiful island of Lombok, which is next to famous Bali, 35 miles east of Bali. And so we're in an island, you're in an island, but very, very different worlds, of
Very
course.
different island.
And you're looking for a home. That's exactly what we're doing, but we don't have mum or dad to kind of shack up with. God, I don't think they'd want us with so many boys now. But mate, how is it going? Because you left about a week after, and I mean, last time I saw you, you came over to ours, and you saw the amount of stuff we still had to do, right? Packing up, and you helped me
I
wrap it.
don't know how you could do that. We were
Yeah.
literally drinking till what, 4 in the morning while you were packing, leaving what, 12 hours later or something.
Yeah, mate. I don't know how I did that. We managed to get there. Guess what I left? Guess what I left? You would not like
Oh,
this.
your microphone,
No, well,
guitar.
to be fair, next time we do this, I'm going to get my mic out, and you should too, because it's just not the same. No, I didn't leave my guitar. I left my anus. Yeah, I mean, sorry, my Asus.
Your
Yeah,
router.
my router, the big bad router that you helped me acquire.
I
Um,
guess they don't have a lot of technology shops on Lombok, do they? Can
they
you buy
do.
one there?
No, you could. They have a so we all thought that we'd missed Taobao, right? That which is the online shopping place in China where they just deliver everything to your door really super easy. Well, here they've got, I mean, you've got Amazon, right? And eBay, I guess, in
In
England.
Lombok?
No,
Oh, for me.
where
Oh,
you
for
are.
me, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
So we
Amazon and Lombok. So wow,
we no,
they've
we've got
they've progressed.
it's called Tokopedia. And
Oh yeah.
Tokopedia is literally the same. And even though we're on an island in an archipelago, you can pay a little bit of delivery and it comes to your door. Now, the problem is it's not in English, but neither was Taobao. That was all in Chinese. It's in Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesia. So we just need to work out how to do the buttons. But to do it, you need a SIM card. And we don't have SIM cards at the moment. So we're getting someone to order a few bits and bobs for us. But yeah, man, that's all good. But yeah, I left the anus. Danny from Spain, you know, Danny, our friend from Spain.
Yeah.
He took it because he came and installed it. He loves my anus, my Asus. And so he took it off my hands. So Danny, I hope you're using it well and not using it for any naughty sites like Anthony used his for. His
I think for the
for.
listeners, you should maybe allow them to understand that by anus you actually mean Asus. It's your
yes.
pet name for your Asus router,
yes, exactly.
rather than handing out your anus to all your friends.
Yeah, I think people be quite worried, especially you with that hat on. They might kind of not know where you're applying yourself. But no, that was it, mate. And we got out. It was hectic. But what about you? Because of course we got there and I checked some messages and I heard your plane had all been cancelled.
Well, yeah. See, I thought it would be you diving further into the Asian adventure, but it seems to have been quite an adventure for me just getting out of China. Well, first of all, there was a big storm. A couple of days and the day we were supposed to leave, so the ferry to Hong Kong got cancelled. So I rang up the airline and explained to them, and they said, nope, we have no record of any ferry cancellations. And I tried to explain, well, you know, I won't mention the airline for any legal reasons, just in case. No. But the airline representative said,
was it, don't be specific, will you? It's not specific.
It was an American one.
Oh, cripes. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, just quickly, as an American
rhymes with specific.
Yeah. With the people who were serving you drinks and stuff, were they like really old?
On the plane?
Yeah.
No, all very young. So, on the plane, they were fantastic, very friendly, superstar.
An American airline, yeah?
Yeah, but they were all Asian staff on the plane.
Are you sure it's not the Hong Kong airline?
No, it was definitely. Oh wait, hang on. Is it the one with specific? Yeah, is that Asian?
It. Yeah, no, it's Hong Kong. That's Hong Kong's motherland air flight.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Why did I think it was American? Okay, well, excuse me, America.
No, so
pointing the finger at you.
You got.
But anyway, so I talked to them on the phone and I explained that the airline had arranged my ferry tickets and the flights together as a package. And like I said, they said, well, we've had no report of any ferries being cancelled. And I said, well, I've talked to, you know, the ferry ports and they've told me directly that they cancelled.
Yeah.
And the guy said, what was it? First of all, he said, well, make your own way to Hong Kong. I was like, oh, thank you very much. And I said, well, that's not really acceptable. You know, your airline arranged for both parts of the journey. You know, really, you should sort this out. And then he proceeded to tell me, after I'd explained that the airline had already arranged a 4:30 ferry for me, he said, well, I can see there's a ferry at 12 o'clock. You could get that one. And I said, I think you're not quite understanding. I already explained to you your airline arranged me a ferry ticket, but the ferries are cancelled. And then, nothing became of that. Actually, that was on the chat in WhatsApp. So I then called the airline, was on hold for like 3 hours or something crazy.
With the music.
Got through to a very friendly Indian girl. She was lovely, super friendly, told her, explained everything to her. And she said, okay, I've got all your details. I'll talk to my superiors, blah, 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 and I'll get back to you. I'll call you back. A few hours later, no phone calls. So I just had a hectic day trying to figure out how can I get into Hong Kong, because to explain to the listeners, my son was in China on a Chinese passport. He has an English passport too, but he was in China on his Chinese passport. So obviously he has to leave China on that. And China will only let you go to England if you have an English visa. Of course, Cal doesn't have an English visa. Actually, that's not strictly true, but that's a long story. But they have to have proof that he can get into England, which he doesn't have in his Chinese visa, Chinese passport, because he doesn't need a visa because he has an English passport. So to get out of China was just a headache. But I thought, we'll go on a gamble. I'll try and get into Hong Kong, cross the bridge, and we'll just go for it, just see what happens. So I spent the whole day organizing all the details for that, arranged tickets, arranged getting into Hong Kong, driver to get me across the bridge, blah, 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 blah. And then about 12 o'clock, midnight or 1 in the morning, I then got an email from the airline saying, sorry for the inconvenience, but it's been brought to our attention that the ferries to Hong Kong have been cancelled. So we've rearranged your flights, which was like a big phew. But I'd spent the whole day stressing about it, trying to talk to them personally. And just, yeah, it took them 14 hours or something to sort it out for me. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. So, well, it was never going to be easy leaving, was it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, China wanted to keep me there.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but quite happy to get rid of you. And so I've just noticed, mate. Can you see my name? I'm in Zhuhai, China at the moment, which I'm not.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want to.
You're still there, so you lied.
I don't want to be misleading anyone. That's definitely not my way. So I have to change that later. I try to do it now, but of course it's never easy. So mate, you've got there, and yeah, what's it be? Because you've been away for a long time, right, from England. They didn't arrest you when you got there.
2006, the last time I was in England.
I mean, what's that? God, that's like
16 years.
16 years. Wow. So how do you feel? What's the
nice? Well, at the moment, like I say, I'm in the Buckinghamshire countryside, so it was quite funny. We got back, and Kale and I got out of the car when we first arrived with my parents, and the first thing I did was, just the fresh, clean air. I mean, Zhuhai is a small city, and it's a better city in China, but still, it's so polluted. I mean, there's cities that are way more polluted in China, but this clean air countryside here is, it's amazing. You get it's sort of like you can almost taste it, or maybe it's the fact that you don't taste anything. But the funny thing was, I got out of the car and I was like, I put my arm around my son, said, Cal, look, breathe that in, breathe that clean, fresh air. And he was like, and he said, what's that smell though? And just as he breathed in, a farm truck with a load of cows drove past the house with a stench of cow crap on it. And he's like, woo, that's a bit ripe.
That's natural,
so it's perfect timing. But as soon as they'd gone, then he could appreciate the clean air.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's the smell of the countryside, my boy.
Yes, it is. And I think the word refreshing is just the right one. I mean, when we got here, mate, and we got to Lombok Airport, just the air and the blue sky, it was just like, wow, it was really cool. I was expecting tropical, humid, like the heat we have in China when we can't sit on the balconies together. Yeah, it's just too hot, right? But it's just not like that at all. I've been pleasantly surprised, actually, to the point, mate, where I wish I brought a long sleeve,
Oh yeah, quite cool in the evenings.
Yeah, it does, especially when you go, in the beach and you go in at like between 5 and 6 before the sun goes down. You come out and there's a bit of a wind because it is quite windy here. That's why the surfing's so good and that. It does, you do feel it. You need to get into that town. But yeah, man, the air, you just can't, unless you've been in it and then you're taken out of it. It's hard to realize, isn't it? But then,
well, it's like getting fresh spring water, isn't it? When you get to the fresh, cold spring water and you glug it and you're like, wow, that's such clean water. And then from when you've gone from a polluted place to somewhere clean, it's literally like you said, refreshing. It's that refreshingness coming into you.
It's like, I guess just another thought, guy, you meet this like psychotic partner, girl or boy, and you like have that just terrible relationship for years, not from a personal point of view, but many friends I've had to listen to.
Never been there.
and then suddenly you meet someone who's just like amazing and like open-hearted, and you just realize, you know, cripes, what have I been through?
Yeah, this is what
So
it should be.
yeah. Now the what was I going to say? We're talking about the air. It's completely gone, mate. I was going to say something, you butted in. But yeah, so you're with your folks. How's that going? Are you you haven't annoyed them
Well,
enough
then,
to kick you out?
not quite yet. I mean, I need to get to Cambridge soon anyway, because my son's going to start school soon, so I wouldn't be
Yeah.
here long enough to really get under their skin. But no, it's been fun. I've generally, like, it's normally me that starts the deep conversations that send conversations and tangents anyway. So I've just avoided the conversations that we get up to.
Yeah, keep it nice and
Yeah, keep it mellow, keep
on the
it
ground.
chilled.
Yeah.
No,
What was
it's
I
been
going to
good. It's
say?
been really good. Nice hanging out with them. Oh, yesterday, proper, I'd say Sunday roast, but it's Sunday today because I actually have to take my son shopping because today is a quiet day for me. So I have to take him shopping for some winter clothes before it gets cold.
Okay, there you go. I mean,
So
don't
we're
say
not
your
having a
son,
sun.
man. It is Kale, yeah. So I was just going to say, when does Kale start school?
6th of September.
Okay, so pretty soon, yeah. So if you've got to
Yeah,
find a
not long.
place, if you've got to find a place by then,
Sorted it yesterday. That's another adventure.
oh,
We
you've
sorted
done
it
it.
yesterday.
Perfect.
Yeah, found a really nice place in a little village just outside of Cambridge. Nice little cottage, lovely conservatory with the dining table. It's a really nice little place actually, and a good price too.
Wicked.
But that was another adventure. We went to Cambridge for a few days because I thought, well, okay, we'll spend a few days up there. Went with my parents. We had a little look around Cambridge because I'd never been there before. I'd heard it was really nice. Spent a few days looking for places. So I went to all the online, places that you can find apartments or houses.
Right.
Contacted loads of agents, found a few, but I think it's primarily because of all the students that go into Cambridge University.
Yeah.
Every time I rang a place, it had gone like 5 minutes before. It's like I'd find somewhere that was close enough to Kale's school. It was a nice place. It was a good price. It was enough bedrooms, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, every time I rang up, they're like, oh, terribly sorry, that's just gone. It was like, oh my gosh. So I was having a nightmare trying to find a place. So to ensure I had a place there, oh, that's it. That's right. What happened first? I found this cottage, the one we've now got. I found that same situation. They actually put me through directly to the landlord because it's a private let. And again, they're like, oh, terribly sorry, it's literally just gone. I was like, oh, bum, because that was my favorite one. That was the one that looked really nice. So I thought that had gone. So just to make sure we had a place in Cambridge, I had to do an Airbnb. It's like, well, I need to be there for my son's school.
Right.
I need, while I'm there, I can look for a permanent place to live and all of that. And so I booked one for a month. I had to bite the bullet and just do it. And it's not cheap at all. It was like £4,000 for a month. And that was one of the cheap ones.
Oh
and I
God.
booked that. I know, right? Like they had places for like £11,000 just for a month. So I booked. Guess what happened? The next day, the people that said their place is gone called me back and said, oh, our place has become available again. We
Awesome.
Something fell through, wanted it. Would you like it? I already paid the £4,000 for an Airbnb, so and it's non-refundable as well, which sucks. I mean, I've sealed the deal with the place. I'm gonna plead them to, like, I mean, it's not 100% bad because the cottage is unfurnished. It has a dining table and a few little bits and bobs, but no beds, no sitting room, anything like that. So we're gonna have to stay in the Airbnb anyway, probably for a couple of weeks, so I can sort out furniture and internet and stuff. But oh well, it is what it is. And like you say, it's an adventure, isn't it? How about you? What adventures have you had?
Well,
just with
mate,
getting into Lombok?
I can't believe Lay is going to be absolutely She must be distraught after you've fed out all that money and then you've got a house. She must be
Oh,
not happy.
tell me
Mate.
about it. Yeah, I got a load of crap for that. But
Yeah.
what can I do? You know, make sure I secure the place for Cal to live, right, for school. It was
I
just
just,
kind of
yeah.
lucky and unlucky at the same time.
Oh,
Lucky
mate. So,
I
sorry,
got
just,
this cottage, but unlucky I just paid Airbnb.
well, if anyone's listening and they need an Airbnb, a free place to stay in Cambridge, I mean, bling, bling,
Yeah,
just
going for
contact us.
two-thirds the price.
What, Anthony? So just to, out of interest, so a little cottage in Cambridge, outside of town. I mean, what's that a month? You have to sign a 1 year a 1 year contract, do you?
Actually, the landlords are really seem pretty friendly and reasonable. They realized I haven't actually seen it. They were good enough to give me a video tour, and it looked good. So I took it on that. Rather, I usually I'd rather see a place in person, but I just have to get somewhere. I need somewhere for Cal to live.
Right.
We're paying 3 months in advance. They said, you know, we'll let you stay there for a month, and if you like, then give us another 3 months. They wanted 6 months in advance, but they said they'd accept 3. And after a month, if we're happy with them, we can pay for another 3, and then after that, every month. So it's £1,500 a month.
Okay.
Which, when you compare it to China, it's like, whoo! I mean, we were renting a place. We had a nice place that was super cheap. We were really lucky. I think we were paying, what was it? So 3,000. What would that be?
That's like 3.5 grand.
About 400 quid.
Yeah.
Just over £450.
Yeah.
A month,
Mad.
which is
Mad.
insanely cheap. And a proper nice apartment. So yeah, now I've got tripled what I'm spending on rent, but it is a house rather than an apartment. It's got a nice little garden, like I said. It's got a conservatory. It's got 3 bedrooms, sitting room, a couple of bathrooms, but it's just a nice little place. But that's a stopgap until hopefully we can buy a place somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And then did you have to get it for a year then? Is that what you're going to do, or do you 6 months? Is it?
No, a 6-month contract, which suits us because we want to try and find a place that we can buy as soon as we can. But if we stay there longer, then because I want to explore the area and see all the villages around and see what I can find, and find somewhere that I want to live. Because Cambridge is a nice little city, but I don't want to live right in the centre.
Yeah. Okay. How far is it to school then? How does he get to school?
Well, that's a great thing about Cambridge as well. I've discovered they've got bike lanes everywhere.
Okay.
It's amazing. And it's a great location. We're in this little village. There's a couple of pubs. There's a small store. It's 5 minutes away from a train station in a little village, which goes to London. It's right next to the River Cam. So you can literally, and they have like cycle paths all down the river. So we can cycle straight into Cambridge. But from school, it's only like 15-minute drive. His school is North Cambridge, so we just drive straight down the road and boom, we're there. It's pretty easy. It's ideal.
So you're
kind of
going to be
lucked
driving?
out, really.
So you driving then?
Yeah, my dad's lending me his car for a bit until I start. I don't want to get one here. I'm going to buy one up in Cambridge because if anything goes wrong, obviously I'd rather park a garage near where I live. So.
Oh, awesome, mate. That's really good. Well, I'm glad you found something, and by the time we next talk, Kale would have started school and got his head flushed down the toilet. So I wish him the best of luck. Best of luck with that.
How about your boys? They must be your boys must be loving lots.
Well, they're we're doing well actually. They've had last few days they've had the I can't call it Delhi belly, can I? They've had what do you call it?
Oh,
Lombok belly.
really?
Wow,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like anywhere, mate, when you go somewhere different, different
Lombok
packages.
lavatory.
Lombok Laboratory. So that's been quite fun. But mate, it's truly I filmed the vlog a few days ago, I'm trying to do every month to show pictures and that. And well, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. So that's great. That's great. That's a good time. And
Yeah, it gives us
uh
a cut-off time to stop tormenting the listeners.
yes, yeah. It's just we're still very much in that kind of might be different for you, but like we still feel like we're kind of on holiday in a way, although
Yeah, I
when you're
bet.
on when you're on holiday, you don't look at houses and go around land and things like that, so there is obviously a difference, but I think still that hasn't really sunk in. But the boys are doing great. They're loving it. I mean, beach days are brilliant. We do it kind of every other day. We go to a beach, and as you
Nice.
could imagine, because your sister lives in Bali. You haven't been to Lombok, have you? Or have you been to Lombok
I
before?
can't, I'm not sure. I went to a few islands. I think I might have done, but
Maybe.
I've been to Indo several times. It's all kind of blurred into one. I've forgotten a lot of the places I've been to. What
Yeah.
sort of place are you staying in then? A villa?
So this is it's like a guest house. I'm just
Okay.
plugging in my computer. It's like a guest house, mate. Um, we found it on booking.com. We got two rooms because my family's so bloody big. So this is a double, and then next door's a double. It's pretty simple. It's got a TV and a bathroom and an AC. Not that we really need it, mate. I tell you, it's like nice and cool. And it's got a pool and it includes breakfast. And we pay like what 173 RMB for 2 rooms a night. So what's that?
Nice.
20 quid a night for both. For Yeah, so it's fine for now, and it's super
So it probably would
central.
have been cheaper for me to come over there and rent a place there, and I could have sent Kel to school on a boat every day.
Yeah, right, yeah, true. And we're in Kuta, a place down south, which is kind of this new tourist zone. That's Mataram is the capital city up in the west of the island. So we're about an hour from Mataram down on the south. And the coastline's just amazing, man. It's just amazing. So we're just really starting to meet people who live here. Because the people here, there's either tourists that are coming for a good holiday, come over from Bali, or they're just coming to surf, or there's people who live here. And there's quite a lot of people who live here, have businesses, land, they've built villas. So it's super interesting. Meanwhile's met some Japanese people. We had dinner with a couple of them last night. So yeah, man, I feel like a child again, with all these business ideas. Oh, I could do this. Oh, I could do that. But, we've got to be careful that we don't take on too much and we do what we were meant to do, which is a year out, spend more time with the kids and not get into full-time work and all that kind of stuff, the stuff we were doing in China. So we just got to take it easy. But I've already met a couple of Germans yesterday. There was this snake. You'd have liked this, mate. There was a guy who came. It's called the Snake Man. And he came over from Bali. He's lived there for 20 years to do a talk at the Novotel Hotel. And you can imagine the Novotel in China, right? The big, shiny, like just all clean cut. This one's
Yeah,
really like,
pristine.
wooden bamboo buildings and like with a beach and a pool, like really nice. Yeah, like you'd expect on an island. And this guy gave a great talk, 1 hour, told us about what snakes to look out for in Lombok.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, 57 species of snake have been identified in Bali, but only 20 in Lombok. And I don't know if we've had that conversation, but between Bali and Lombok, there's the Wallace line. Something happened where the tectonic plates went and there's a drop, and there's a massive drop if you go over that 35-mile stretch. And what happens is it changes the species, the fauna, the animals, the wildlife completely change. It's really bizarre. If anyone's interested in that documentary, Wallace Line on YouTube, and there's some great stuff on there. So in a way, what I'm saying is we're kind of a bit luckier here in Lombok. We get less bad venomous snakes, but there are some there. And so he gave some good tips, and then they got out the vipers and the boa constrictors and this little bearded kind of gecko, and Max had them all over him, you know, and Carl, I got one of the big vipers around me. I mean, I'm not too into snakes, I have to say, but they're just incredible creatures, aren't they? They really are. So that
So
was
a
good
lot
fun.
of strange species ended up on the island then.
Yes, a lot of strange species. Very good.
Kind of why you ended up there, right?
Even more so now. Now, one thing I will tell you, Anthony, because you know, sometimes when I'm in the shower or something, I go to myself, you know, what have we done? What have we done uprooting ourselves from the place we were in, jobs, you know, nice house, as you know, as you were as well. And I think we can get everything here that we had in China and we could have in England. The only difference, the problem is beer. Now, because it's quite a Muslim, I know it's a big downer because it's a Muslim island. Obviously, beer's quite difficult. It was not difficult to get, but it's pricey. So for a nice bottle of Bintang or Anchor, you know, the Cambodian beer or some other one they do, which is nice beers, you're looking at like for a big beer that maybe it's what 600 something mils. So over a pint, you're looking at like £2.80, mate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like being in a pub in England, although I think how much is a pint now, man? £3 something in England?
That's a good question. How much did I haven't actually been to a
You,
pub yet.
gee, you are
Well,
unbelievable. Hasn't
I'm
even
out in
been
the
to a pub.
well, I kind of. I went to oh no, that's not true. I have been to that's not true at all. I went to one in Cambridge. You know what?
It's
I
about
didn't pay
316.
attention because we ate food as well. So I just got the drinks and we had a pub supper. Very nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just paid for all the bill. I don't know. I didn't actually pay attention to how much a pint was, so I actually don't know. I'll have to
Yeah.
have a look at that next time.
Yeah. Yeah. You're sponging, aren't you, off your folks,
Yeah.
you little flagger.
No,
Yeah.
I took them out for a nice Indian the other night. Oh, there you go. Well, you come back to England, you got to have an Indian curry, right?
Yeah. God, ready
Took
for
them out for a very nice Indian the other night.
Now, Anthony,
That was
before
good.
we finish, I was going to say I met a German yesterday, and he got the main contact of the Anchor beer distributor. Classic. Trust the Germans to help you out, so we
Oh,
can
there you
get
go.
it
You're meeting the
basically
right people then.
meeting the right people, half price. I'll be filling them up. I'll stock up the fridge for when you get here, mate. So we'll be able to have a nice cold beer and not break the bank. But apart from that,
Nice.
everything's perfect, mate. Kids are fine. Miwa's fine. People are lovely. There's just so much opportunity. So we're just taking it easy. We're actually heading off to Sangigi, which is in the west. This is the original tourist town in Lombok that started in the 80s, I think, or 90s.
Oh, okay.
We're going to head up there for a week, and then we're going to go up to the Tropical Gili Islands to see my agent who's helped set up the company. So we're on a little bit of an island tour starting next week. So I'll tell you all about that when we meet next. And for
Yeah,
you,
look forward to the update.
yeah, for you, man, wish Kale all the best. Send him our love, and
Yeah, give my love to Miwa and all the boys. Sounds like you made a good decision. I think it
yeah,
was
man,
time to get out for us, right? And I
I
think
think
we've
so.
made different choices, but both the right choices in different worlds. And yeah, it's going to be a
Yeah.
fun adventure for both of us, I think.
And you know, the hope is every month when we talk about this, I mean, anyone's interested in relocating or you know just seeing the juxtaposition of life in a tropical island and life in a
Yes,
how do
seeing
we
the
say
repercussions of what happens to people. Next time you'll be seeing me like, oh, what have I
true,
done? I need to
true.
go back to China.
Yeah,
No,
well,
hopefully not.
mate, things were as anything when you've been there a long time and you know everything, super easy, right? But you know, life doesn't afford you the magic if it's always super easy, right? You've got to go through challenges like we're
Life
going through
should be an
now.
adventure.
Yeah, yeah, a journey, not a destination. Ching ching. Um, so mate, we'll have to come up with a name for this, something or other. I know I said the
Or maybe the
Antichrist.
listeners could come up with one.
Yes, if we
That'll
get
be great.
anyone listening, yeah. The Antichrist, I thought of Anthony and Christopher, the Antichrist, which is rather ironic, I suppose. But yeah, we'll have to come up with something, mate. So, anything to love and leave us with? Anything you got to say?
Well, good luck with everything, man. Yeah, I'm glad you're happy and having fun with your family out there.